guys, good morning. Today we're going to understand the time zone. Brief and short tips made by CJ Vertusio. What is time zone? A time zone is an area that observes a uniform standard time for legal and commercial and social purposes. All time zones are defined as offsets from Coordinated Universal Time (UTC) ranging from UTC -12 hours to UTC +14 hours. The offsets are usually a whole number of hours, but few zones are offset by additional 30 or 45 minutes. Why we need to understand it? As Earth rotates, different parts of Earth receive sunlight or darkness, giving us day and night. As your location on Earth rotates into sunlight, you see the sun rise. Since different parts of Earth enter and exit daylight at different times, we need different time zones. We can understand the time difference between places, countries, or cities with different time zones within a specific time scenario. Terms to remember: GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, the time measured on Earth's 0-degree line of longitude or meridian, runs from North Pole to South Pole, passing through the Old Royal Observatory in the London suburb of Greenwich. UTC, Coordinated Universal Time, is the primary time standard by which the world regulates clock and time. It is within about 1 second of mean solar time at 0-degree longitude. It is not just adjusted for daylight saving time. It is effectively a successor to Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. International Dateline. The dividing line between East GMT positive and West GMT negative on the opposite side of the world to the Greenwich Meridian. This is a modification of the 180-degree meridian running north to south through the Pacific Ocean. Prime Meridian, a geographical reference line that passes through the Royal Observatory, Greenwich in London, England in October 1884. 41 delegates from 25 nations met in Washington, D.C., United States for the International Meridian Conference. This conference selected the meridian passing through the Greenwich as the official prime meridian due to its popularity. Equator, an imaginary line around the middle of a planet between the North Pole and South Pole at 0 degrees latitude, divides the planet into northern and southern hemisphere. Earth is widest at its equator. It is about 40,075 kilometers long, which is 78.8% lies across water and 21.3% over land. Hemisphere refer to any division of the globe into two hemispheres from ancient Greek. Hemisparion, meaning half sphere. The most common such divisions are by latitudinal and longitudinal marks. North to south. Northern Hemisphere, the half that lies north of the equator. Southern Hemisphere, the half that lies south of the equator. East to west. Eastern Hemisphere, the half that lies east of the prime meridian and west of the 180th meridian. Western Hemisphere, the half that lies west of the prime meridian and east of the 180th meridian. Note: for time zone different calculations, you will refer to the east and west hemispheres. This is the prime meridian, so this splits the eastern and western hemispheres. And this is the equator. This splits the northern and southern hemispheres. This is the international dateline, and this is the prime meridian. Understanding time zone. The Earth rotates eastward 360 within 24 hours. It rotates at a speed of 15 degrees per hour. UTC or GMT time zone at 0 hour prime meridian. 12 time zones located at the Western Hemisphere represented by negative 1 hour to negative 12 hour. 12 time zones located at Eastern Hemisphere represented by 1 hour to 12 hours. Each time zone has 50-degree longitude distance. Calculate or no time zone. Situation 1. Time gap between two countries or cities. And situation 2. Flying time. Departure and arrival between two locations. Tips for easy calculations. Be familiar with time zones and GMT, UTC, prime meridian. If you will move eastern, then you'll have to add the time zone difference, increasing. On the other hand, if heading western part, you'll subtract the time zone difference, decreasing. If the two places are located within the same hemisphere, get the difference of the time zones. If two places are located with different hemispheres, get the sum of the time zones. Time gap between two countries or cities. Case 1, within the same hemisphere. In case 2, within different hemisphere. Situation 1. Time gap between two countries or cities within the same hemisphere. The time difference between Sydney and Addis Ababa. Check the UTC time zone. Alternatively, longitude divided 15 degree. Sydney 10 and Addis Ababa 3. That's 3. Mark a dot for each city and connect the dots. Alright, we already got it. Check what the mathematical sign you can see. The mathematical sign you can see is the one that connects the dots. So, it's going to be a minus. Proceed with the mathematical procedure. 10 minus 3 equals 7 hours. It's the time gap. Referring to PM, which is 0, then we can say that Sydney is 7 hours ahead of Addis Ababa. If Sydney's time is 13 hours, what is Addis Ababa's time? Since Sydney is ahead by 7 hours, therefore 13 hours less 7 hours is equal to 6 hours. The time difference between Mandela and Osaka. Check the UTC time zone. Alternatively, longitude divide 15 degrees. Manila plus 8 and Lusaka, Zambia plus 2. Mark a dot for each city and connect the dots. Done. Check what is the mathematical sign you can see. The mathematical sign is minus. Proceed with the mathematical procedure, which is 8 minus 2 is equal to 6 hours. We're subtracting it because this is the mathematical sign we can see. What is the time gap? Referring to PM, which is 0, then we can say that Manila is 6 hours ahead of Addis Ababa. If Lusaka's time is 11 hours, what is Manila's time? Since Manila is ahead by 6 hours, therefore 11 hours plus 6 hours equals 17 hours. The time difference between San Francisco and Washington, D.C. Check the UTC time zone. San Francisco minus 8 and Washington, D.C. negative 5. Mark a dot for each city and connect the dots. Done. Check what is the mathematical sign you can see. It's minus. Proceed with the mathematical procedure. 8 minus 5 equals 3 hours. What is the time gap? Referring to PM, which is 0, then we can say that San Francisco is behind 3 hours with Washington, D.C. If Washington, D.C. time is 8 hours, what is San Francisco's time? So since San Francisco is behind 3 hours, which we have calculated, therefore 8 hours minus 3 hours is 5 hours. Time gap between two countries or cities. Case 2. With different hemisphere. The time difference between New Delhi and New York. Check the UTC time zone. New Delhi, India, plus 30 hours. New York, -5 hours. Mark a dot for each city and connect the dots. Check. Check what's the mathematical sign you can see. But this time, instead of a minus, we can see a plus sign because of the prime meridian. Proceed with the mathematical procedure. 5 plus 5, 30 hours is equal to 10:30 hours. What is the time gap? Referring to PM, which is 0, then we can say that Delhi is ahead by 10.5 hours with New York. If New Delhi's time is 18 hours, what is New York's time? Since New York is behind 10.5 hours, therefore 18 hours minus 10:30 hours is equal to 7:30 hours. The time difference between Montreal and Bangkok. Check the UTC time zone. Montreal, Canada, 5, and Bangkok, +7. This is a plus sign. Mark a dot for each city and connect the dots. Done. Check what's the mathematical sign you can see. You can see plus sign because connected with the prime meridian. Proceed with the mathematical procedure. 5 plus 7 equals 12 hours. What is the time gap? We can say that Bangkok is ahead by 12 hours with Montreal, Canada. If Montreal's time is 15 hours, what is Bangkok's time? Since Bangkok is ahead by 12 hours, therefore 15 hours plus 12 hours equals 27 hours. Since there's only 24 hours a day, then we will deduct 27 hours with 24 hours equals to 3 hours. In Bangkok, the following day, if it's Sunday, 15 hours in Montreal, then Monday, 3 hours, 30 hours in Bangkok. Flying time. Departure and arrival between two locations. April 7, 2021. 10 hours departing from Dubai to Mandela with 8 hours flying time. What is the arrival time? Okay, this is the solution. Note, we will follow situation 1 procedures. Check the UTC time zone. Dubai, UAE, +4. Manila, Philippines, +8. This side we can see it's minus. Mark the dot for each city and connect the dots. Check. Check what is the mathematical sign. Check. Let's proceed with the mathematical procedure. 8 minus 4 is 4 hours. What is the time gap? If Dubai's time is 10 hours, then Manila is 10 hours plus 4 hours equals to 14 hours. To get arrival at destination, we need to Dubai's departure time 10 hours plus flying time 8 hours plus time zone difference for 4 hours equals to Manila arrival 22 hours. Destination time zone equivalent to the departure from the origin and then add flying time. Dubai's departure time 10 hours. Equivalent Manila time 14 hours since Manila is 4 hours ahead. Plus flying time 8 hours equals to 22 hours. So the arrival time is 22 hours. May 1, 2021. 2 hours departing from Caracas to LA with 6 hours flying time. Arrival time is, we'll follow the situation 1 procedures again. Check the UTC time zone. Caracas, Venezuela, -4. LA, -8. I know. Mark a dot for each city and connect the dots. Check the mathematical sign. Minus. Check. Proceed with the mathematical procedure. 8 minus 4 equals 4 hours. Caracas time is 2 hours of May 1 and LA is 22 hours of April 30. 2 hours minus 4 hours equals to 22 hours. It's in the morning and 4 hours is in the night PM. That means we get 22 hours. To get arrival at destination, Caracas depth time 2 hours plus flying time 6 hours minus time zone difference 4 hours. LA arrival 4 hours. Alternatively, destination time zone equivalent to the departure time from the origin and add flying time. Caracas departure time 2 hours May 1 equals to LA time 22 hours April 30. Plus flying time 6 hours equals to 4 hours May 1. So the answer, the arrival time from Caracas to LA is 4 hours May 1. This is case 2 with different hemispheres. Check the UTC time zone. Muscat, Oman, +4. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, -3. Mark the dot for each city and connect the dots. Check. Check the mathematical sign, plus sign. Check. Proceed with the mathematical procedure. 4 plus 3 equals 7 hours. If Muscat's time is 15 hours, then Rio de Janeiro's is 8 hours. 15 hours minus 7 hours equals 8 hours. Arrival to get to destination. Muscat's departure time 15 hours plus flying time 11 hours minus time zone difference 7 hours equals to Rio de Janeiro arrival 19 hours. Muscat's departure time 15 hours equivalent to Rio de Janeiro's time 8 hours plus flying time 11 hours equals to 19 hours. So the arrival time from Belém to Jakarta is 19 hours. So we connected the dots. The mathematical sign is plus sign. If Belen's time is 22 hours on May 31, then Jakarta is 6 hours on June 1. 22 plus 10 minus 24 is 18 hours. To get arrival at destination, Belém departure time 22 hours, May 31, plus flying time 17 hours, plus time zone difference 10 hours. Jakarta's arrival 49 hours, less 2 days, 48 hours. Arrival time 1 hours, June 2. Alternatively, May 1 Belém departure time 22 hours, equivalent to 8 hours, June 1. Flying plus flying time 17 hours. Jakarta's time 25 hours, less than 24 hours, 1 hour, June 2. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new. Bye!
Don't forget to like our channel, subscribe,
And hit the notification bell.